Hiya folks, and welcome to today's video, a video which actually has already happened, but you'll see in a moment why I couldn't film the intro on the day. Now the idea with this one is to try and get round the 4 UK capitals, so that's Edinburgh, Belfast, Cardiff and London, as quickly as possible. I had originally intended to try and do this within a day, but then I added an extra twist that I'm only allowed to use each mode of transport once. A twist that I was partially successful with, but anyway, that kind of threw the time element out the window. So maybe one of you will take up the challenge and show me how this should be done, but in the meantime, enjoy the video. Alright, let's get going as quietly as possible. Well, it's just after 4 o'clock in the morning and here we are at our first capital city, Edinburgh. Capital of Scotland since around the 1500s, I think. But there's not much happening here at this time of the morning, so me and my very large Iron Brew energy drink are now going to jump on the airport bus, because I think it makes sense to use our flight for the next leg of the journey, which is going to take us across the Irish Sea. Now the only way you can get to the airport in the middle of the night is using the Airlink 100 service that leaves from here in St Andrew's Square, and in fact that's it just behind me now. Nice one, thank you very much.
Thank you for choosing our Airlink service.
Aye, so for obvious reasons, Belfast is the trickiest of the 4 capitals to actually get to, but it also turns out to be one of the quickest and the cheapest. 35 being the number. The flight cost me 35 quid, and the flight time is about 35 minutes. I'm glad we're getting the flight over with first, because flying is by far my least favourite mode of transport. When you're in the air it's fine, but it's airports. I think I'm allergic to airports, especially here in Edinburgh. It's just too busy these days, even at 6 o'clock in the morning. This is the only quiet spot I've found, by the way. Well, our aircraft is there behind us and we got through the gate. We were standing in the corridor for ages, like you always do with low-cost airlines. But then they said, come back through the gate because there's a problem with the aircraft and they're calling an engineer. So who knows when we'll get on board.
Last call for the remaining passengers.
Right, we've just had the announcement that we're good to go again. Everything's been fixed. So let's get back through that gate. Yeah, thank you. Well, I've got to admit that's a massive relief to be on board and almost on our way. We're only going to be about 25 minutes late, so we're absolutely fine. Well, no, in fact I spoke too soon. As we were taxiing to the runway, this joker stood up and decided he was leaving the flight for no other reason than the cabin crew politely asking him to put his bag in the overhead locker. After the captain requesting clearance to return to gate, it was eventually resolved. He sat down and we got underway again. Although I must admit, for the whole flight I was a bit concerned about what was in that bag.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
So welcome to Belfast. Unfortunately it's Belfast International Airport, not City, so we're nowhere near Belfast. But anyway, welcome to Northern Ireland. I've just bought my bus ticket, which was £8.50, single into the city centre. Seems quite expensive, but as I say, it's a long way. So we've made it to the city centre of our second capital, Belfast, which is of course the capital of Northern Ireland. Now the last time I was in this very spot, this was all construction. What a beautiful building that is up there behind me. It's just a Primark, believe it or not. But anyway, I'm absolutely starving, so we'll go and get some breakfast. And then I've got something else in mind, but it might be a separate video. Well, that was a cracking breakfast at Maggie May's, and while I was munching away, I was also booking a guided coastal walk called the Gobbins. Now the Gobbins is a short train journey from Belfast, and that should eat up some of the free time that I've got in my hands today. Now the Gobbins will be a separate video, but just to explain a bit just now about why I've got so much free time. Basically, we've got to cross the Irish Sea again, and I've already used my flight, so it has to be a ferry. There were two ferries, one at 10:30 in the morning, one at 10:30 at night. My flight arrived too late to get the 10:30 in the morning one, especially as you have to book in 90 minutes before departure. So we are going at 10:30 tonight, and that ferry will be with Stena Line, and that'll take us across to Birkenhead. Then we can go on to Liverpool and then make our way down to Cardiff. That's the plan anyway. Whenever I'm in Belfast, I always like to come down and have a wee look at the Titanic Memorial. But that's me away now to make this other video, so I'll see you later on this evening. I guess I should sign off like proper YouTubers do it. Hi, are you surprised I'm back? Because I'm surprised I'm back. I'm absolutely broken after today and the lack of sleep last night, but the show must go on. And the good news is we have a cabin on the ferry tonight, so that means a bed, and I'm going to be using that bed. I think I'm going to be sleeping right through till 6:30 tomorrow morning when we arrive into Birkenhead. So I don't think I'll be doing much filming. But anyway, tomorrow we should complete our mission. We'll get down to Cardiff, hopefully by train, and then a bus, or should I say a coach, to London. And then all we've got to do is make our way back up to Edinburgh and back to Montrose, but that'll take care of itself. For now, I've just got to find a bus to Belfast Ferry port, because the last time I was here I walked it, and I'm not doing that tonight. It's a bus or a taxi. And it'll also be interesting to know when I can check in. I think you can check in at 7:30 for the 10:30 sailing, but I'm not sure if that means you're just checking in or if that means you're actually getting on board and getting to your cabin. That'd be nice. So service 96, Monday to Friday. Oh no, 6:30. It's 6:45. We've missed it. Oh well, maybe we are walking. I was only joking. I got a taxi, so here we are in about 10 minutes compared to an hour and a half the last time when I walked it. So let's get inside, get checked in and see if we can get on board. Well, no such luck. I went through check-in, got my cabin key and boarding pass, and he was like, yep, through you go. And I thought, oh, that's it, we're going on the ship. And then you get into this little lounge and nothing, you just have to sit here, and it does say on the screen that boarding starts 30 minutes before departure, so that'd be 10 PM, and that's hours away. So I guess I just have to get comfortable here. It's better than nothing. I could be outside in the rain. I'm not joking, that departure lounge was just crazy. Parents just letting their kids run absolutely wild. I've never seen anything like it. I'm going to let them get on that first bus. I'll try and wait for a second bus. Aye, so my strategy is to try and be the very last person on this ship. We'll see if it works. Although I've got a horrible feeling they're just going to pack this bus completely full. I might have to go in this one after all. Oh, I'm glad I waited till the second bus. I think I'm just really tired now and it's definitely time for bed. And very discreet filming. I know how grumpy they get about you filming in ports. As grumpy as me tonight. Right, we're in. Let the chaos commence. I guess we just keep going. Right, our cabin's on deck 9, but I can't seem to get to deck 9. This is deck 7, and I can't go up that one. Okay. No, that's the lounge with the reclining seats. So you might remember I took a reclining seat on the Northlink, but that looks a lot nicer. Ah, here we go. After all my confusion, again, it's just because I'm so tired. I've found all the cabins and the stairs up to deck 9. Here we go. What am I doing wrong? Oh, it doesn't get any better. Guest services, here we come. Come on, homemade card. 948. Yes! Okay, all I can say is, wow, I'm happy now. This is the nicest cabin I've ever been on in a ship. I know it's a 4-berth cabin and I've got it all to myself. I didn't even realise I'd have a bathroom though. Look at that. Again, this is nicer than some hotels I've stayed in and bigger than some hotels I've stayed in as well. Now, the crossing itself cost, I think it was 37 quid from Belfast to Liverpool, but I've paid a total of £97, so it was 60 quid extra to have this cabin. But I tell you what, that's 60 quid well spent. And you can fold down the other beds as well, so I do have choice if I want it. Never had a TV in a cabin before, and to be honest, it sounds fairly quiet around. I was just imagining that I'd be stuck next to the kids, but no, it's nice and quiet, so maybe I should be quiet because maybe I've got neighbours. So that's us at 5 to 10 now. I know the ship is scheduled to sail at 10:30, but sometimes they do go early if they're fully loaded, so I'll be ready for that and we can go up on deck. But I'm just having a wee sit down just now. I'm scared to lie down in case that's me zonked out for the night. I tell you what, it goes against every instinct I've got, especially when the snooker's on, but the jacket's on again, the hat's on. Let's get out on deck and we will watch our departure from Belfast. Is that where we are? Belfast? I think so. Must say though, I'm loving this colour scheme. Considering how crazy the departure lounge was and how many cars there were loading, it seems quite quiet. I think this ship can handle a lot of people. I actually thought we were moving, but we're not. We're still very much at the dock. But wow, what a view from here. I haven't quite got my bearings yet. I can't work out if this is the only deck you can get on. Normally there'll be one at the back or one at the front. Sorry, the bow or the stern. But I don't know how to get to them yet. Right, here's a deck plan. It doesn't look like there is anything at the bow or at the stern, but it does say there is a sun deck on level 10. Will that be open? No chance, but let's go and have a look. Oh, this is the stairs to level 10. It's a maybe. Wow, look at this. We're right up on top of the ship and it's absolutely massive. I didn't expect this to be open tonight, and by the looks of it, nobody else did either. It's got this really cool non-slip stuff under your feet. You could play football or golf up here, no problem. Oh, and look, there's the helicopter landing pad. And down there, I think that's the skylight for the bar. All these sensible people sitting having a drink, watching the sport on the big TVs, and I'm up here. Aye, it's just me and the seagulls. Hi, seagulls!
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We're starting the engines and we should be on our way in approximately 10 minutes time for Birkenhead. Weather conditions for the crossing are moderate to good. There will be a small amount of motion as we approach the Isle of Man, but we'll be using the ship stabilizers, so nothing much to concern you, I think.
So there is actually a wee deck at the stern, but like all these stern decks, they tend to be where you go for a smoke. I'm not sure I'd want my vehicle on this exposed deck, especially in a storm. I mean, it is at the back, so it's not going to get any salt water going over it, but I'd still be giving my car a good wash after that. Aye, this is a cool ship, but that's the problem, it's totally woken me up. What if I go to my cabin now and I can't sleep? That'd be 2 nights in a row. I can't believe I'm the only person outside watching all this. Or does that say something about me? Ah, well, as much as I want to just stay out here for hours, I think the time has come to go back to the cabin and try and maximise our sleep time. Although I might stop at the bar on the way. Cheers, guys. Right, folks, at last it's bedtime, so I'll see you in the morning. Good night. Oh, what a horrible morning. Aye, I'm not staying out here, it's dark anyway. Good morning, folks. So as we arrive in Birkenhead, it's time to reflect on how it was last night. Well, I've got the feeling of a guy who maybe needed 10 hours sleep and got about 5. The cabin was comfortable. I mean, Stena really do have the best cabins in my opinion, but there was this like one isolated rattle that just went on all night. Just this one rattle, nothing else. Apart from that, it was perfect. So comfortable and clean, that cabin, but that was kind of driving me a bit mad. So if you are doing a ferry journey, just remember your earbuds, noise cancelling headphones, stuff like that, because you will need it. But that's just to be expected on a ferry journey. Overall, it was brilliant. And now, of course, my mind turns back to the mission. How are we going to get to Cardiff today? Well, firstly, we've got to get across to Liverpool. So we've got to cross the Mersey and get to Lime Street Station. That's where we get our train, which will change in Crewe, I believe, and eventually take us on to Cardiff. Now, I don't think we're under too much pressure for that transfer. We've got about 2 hours because we've docked on time, so we should be absolutely fine, he says. Aye, nothing happens very fast when you're at a ferry terminal, but we're finally through security. We got a bus to here off the ferry. They just check your ID, I just showed them a driver's licence. And now we're waiting for another bus that'll take us to Birkenhead train station. And from there, I think we can get a train across or under the Mersey that'll take us into Lime Street. So we'll get there eventually. I think we're still on schedule, but it's very, very slow. Thank you. So that free bus drops you here at Hamilton Square train station, where there's mention of a heritage tramway. I wish we had time. So from being on board the Stena to getting right here into the centre of Liverpool at Lime Street Station, that took me exactly 30 minutes. That's pretty efficient. Of course I would have preferred to ferry across the Mersey, but you can't have everything. Now I've got just under an hour until my train that'll take me on to Crewe and then on to Cardiff. So that gives me time to find some breakfast. Aye, you can't beat a wee spoon's breakfast, especially when it's this quiet. The train we're about to get on is this Avanti West Coast. Now, believe it or not, this would take us all the way to London, but that's not part of the plan, is it? No, so we'll get off at Crewe, and then we've got maybe about half an hour at Crewe before the next train down to Cardiff. I've got to say, the old Avanti looks lovely. You've got a choice of table seats or airline style seats. It's not too busy, so I can take my choice. And they both look fairly comfortable. It's a shame I'm only on this train for 2 stops, isn't it? That's us almost ready to go on time. Oh.
Hello everyone, this is Lucas, part of the onboard crew. Just to let you know that the shop is open. So the shop is located in coach C and we accept card and cash.
Well, I'm not going to lie, I would have quite happily stayed on that train all the way to London. It was beautiful. Welcome to Crewe, home to the mighty Crewe Alexandra. And there's their stadium over there. It's only about 5 minutes walk from the railway station, so we'll go and have a wee look. The Railwaymen Lounge and Bar, is that what they're called? The Railwaymen? It would certainly make sense, wouldn't it? Get a wee peek. Hey, that's a nice wee stadium, I like it. Well, I say a wee stadium, but that main stand's quite impressive, especially compared to Lynx Park, Montrose. Tell you what though, I need to take you to a game sometime. I think that'd be quite good for the channel. The Mornflake Stadium. Don't you just hate it when they sell the naming rights to stadiums? Right, let's get back to the railway station. The next train's the all-important one, the one that'll take us to our third capital city, and it's a Transport for Wales service, although it does spend most of the route still in England. It won't cross over to Wales until Abergavenny, is that how you say it? Anyway, it'll be my first visit to Wales, although we are hoping to go back to Wales for a proper visit later on in the year. Here's my wee train, and it's only got 2 carriages, but it looks quite busy.
I'm going to just gone down for us.
Well, it's certainly too busy to film on, so I get a feeling I'm going to be stuck here beside the bikes. Don't worry, she'll be back in a minute. Can't believe I've got a friend. There she is. Well, I think old Transport for Wales need to put a few more carriages in their trains. Even in these little vestibules at the end of the carriages, they're all full apart from this one. And this journey's 2.5 hours. I don't know if it'll get busier or quieter. We'll soon find out.
shortly be arriving at Cardiff Central. Thank you.
Only those over there.
The next train to arrive at platform 3A.
Well, it's chucking it down with rain and there's no prospect of it stopping, but I'm still super excited to be here. Now we've got under an hour until our coach to London, but I'm not sure where it leaves from. It's not like a coach station, it just said North Road, Friary Gardens, something like that. But it's in this direction. But here we are, folks. We're in our third capital city. Let's be honest, a walk from the train to the coach in the rain is not the best way to see Cardiff or to see Wales, but that just reinforces my desire to come back here and have a proper explore of this wonderful country. There's still a wee while before the coach leaves, so I've just ducked into Cardiff Market out of the rain. What a cool place this is. And they seem to serve some really good food. I just wish I was hungry. One thing I'm not going to do before I get on this coach is drink anything, because the last thing I want to do is use a toilet in a coach. I'm never going to do that. I'm so glad I've given myself plenty of time to find this megabus, because like I say, it certainly doesn't leave from a coach station, it just seems to be a random stop on the side of the road. Now I've found a poster which shows you where that is, and it appears to be right next to Cardiff Castle, so bear that in mind if you're catching the megabus from Cardiff. Don't be looking out for some fancy station. In fact, I can't even see any other coaches at this stage, and by looking at this map I'm still not in the right place, so I better get moving. No, I've had a walk around the block and I'm back at this bus stop. I think this is where the megabus picks you up, even though this poster says find us on North Road, kind of suggesting that it's somewhere else. And that's all there is, this poster. There is absolutely nothing else. There's no official signage, there's no timetable, but I cannot afford to miss this coach, so I'm really keeping my eyes peeled for a megabus. No, ignore everything I've just told you. I have found the megabus stop. Thank goodness for that. I was starting to get worried. It is literally opposite the walls of Cardiff Castle. We are going to London.
You are currently 11.5 hours late. No worries. Hi, love.
So there we go folks, a mere 40 hours after leaving Montrose, we've arrived in London, our 4th capital city. And although we've still got to close that circle with the long journey home, I think we can safely say mission accomplished. That last leg from Cardiff was okay, despite the megabus not really being a megabus. It was like a third-party old coach. It was comfortable enough and there wasn't too much traffic, so it was fine. Although, to be honest with you, I slept for half of it. Although we've still got the bonus leg of the trip back home, I couldn't include that in the challenge because then it would be a fail because I've got to get a train back up the road. I couldn't find another mode of transport, couldn't afford a taxi, and I don't quite have enough time to walk home.
Hammersmith City, Metropolitan, Northern and Piccadilly lines.
The train back up the road is on time and it's a Lumo. I've never been in one of those before. But I'll take this opportunity now to say thank you for watching. Thanks for coming with me on this crazy journey and I'll see you next time. Bye bye. I think that's quite a smart looking livery, isn't it? And I've just noticed as well, it's only got 2 stops, Newcastle and Morpeth. And then we get into Edinburgh just before 1 o'clock in the morning.
Next to our luggage rules, which are small bags underneath the seats in front of you, coach hooks on the coast, medium-sized bags. We will then bring our at-seat trolley service throughout the train.
I think this is Edinburgh. I'm pretty sure I can remember it all starting here.